Come on, we've got to do another one. Here's what we're going to talk about today. An update on the It prequel series coming to HBO. A casting choice for the Thunderbolts movie that has fans guessing about a character that could be in it. Rumors about how Tom Holland could be in the latest Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse movie, and so much more. Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, man. It absolutely would make my day. But now that that's out of the way, let's get into our first movie news story of the day. So you guys might have heard me talk about this a couple of weeks ago. Eli Roth is working on a Thanksgiving horror movie. This is based on a fake movie trailer that was in the film Grindhouse. You can check out the movie trailer on YouTube, but make sure you're watching it alone, because let's just say but Googlies will, because there aren't many Thanksgiving slasher movies out there. We just got some news today that made me very excited. Addison Rae has been cast as the lead in Eli Roth's Thanksgiving for Spyglass Media. I think Addison Rae is beautiful, and she has a successful online business called TikTok. But when I hear that a famous TikToker is playing the lead role in a horror movie, I think, well, we'll see how that goes. On the one hand, it's a good idea, especially for someone like Addison Rae who has a lot of followers. With millions of followers, it's a safe bet that a lot of people will see this movie. But after seeing what she can do in the Netflix movie, I'm not sure if she's ready to be the final girl. But I'm happy to be wrong. I'll be rooting for you, Addison Rae, but I'd like to know how you feel when you hear the phrase, famous TikToker lands lead role in a horror movie. Does that make you happy or sad? Moving on to our next topic, which is about to make me one of the most embarrassing movie review channels on YouTube. We've got a trailer for a movie that's about to come out. Variety says that Warner Brothers is planning to make a new Lord of the Rings movie. I said this would be one of the most embarrassing stories for me because I have to admit to all of you lovely people that I have never seen any Lord of the Rings movies. Music applause. I've been meaning to watch them since I was like 12 or something. I'm sure I would love them and think they're great movies, but I also know that Lord of the Rings is a very good book. I'm not going to act like I know anything about the Lord of the Rings. This is mostly just to let you know that people love it. You can yell at me in the comments, but also tell me what's a movie that everyone has seen but you haven't seen yet, and you're embarrassed to talk about it. Also, how do you feel about new Lord of the Rings movies coming out? HBO has been saying this for a long time, but now we have proof. Max has given it the green light and given it a series order, which means that we will be able to see it. Some of the details in the article tell us that Andy Muschietti, who directed the first and second It movies, will be directing the first episode and a couple of other episodes. There's no exact number for how many episodes we can expect, but I'm going to guess somewhere between 8 and 9. Derry, Maine's Most Haunted City is still going on, and I'm glad that Andy Muschietti and the Brain Trust, including his talented sister Barbara, will be in charge of the scary parts. Red balloons all around. It's nice to hear Stephen King say this because we've heard before that he won't be involved in making the show. He'll just sign off on it and tell everyone to do what they want. This is the only new thing we know about the series. Do we think there is a big difference between the quality of an HBO show and an HBO Max show? All the articles make it clear that this is an HBO Max show, not an HBO show. To give you an idea of what that means, this is an HBO Max show, not an HBO show. The Last of Us is an HBO show that isn't an HBO Max show. It's just an HBO show. HBO has a pretty good reputation when it comes to their shows, and I can't really think of an HBO Max show that stood out. That's not to say they were bad, but I find it interesting that Warner Brothers wants to follow in their footsteps. This show is being marketed as an HBO Max show, not just as an HBO show. I don't know if this is where I should tell you guys that you should stop watching HBO. Max is going to be the ones to tell us, welcome to Derry, it's official, it's happening. What are you most excited to see in the series? Bringing us here to talk a little bit about Marvel, we got a small update on Avengers Kang Dynasty. It's kind of cool now that we're getting closer and closer to this movie, but it still feels really far away, that we can have small updates on it. And well, Jeff Loveness Dynasty that might scare some people. They recently did an interview with comicbook.com. They asked him who he was excited to see in the movie and what faces we could expect to see. And he said, Namer man, I'm excited to write Namer. This basically tells us that Namer will be in Avengers and have some kind of role. King Dynasty, some people might be thinking, well, duh, but the MCU has grown so much since the end of Endgame. For example, do you still remember the huge crowd you saw at the end of Avengers Endgame? And now there are even more characters in Avengers. King Dynasty. I think it's pointless to complain and worry about how they're going to keep up with so many characters. Marvel has shown that they can handle a lot of characters. The only question is whether or not each character will get a chance to shine. For example, we know that the director likes Namor and is likely to give him some badass scenes. I can't wait to see him go up against Kang or an aversion version of him. He's one of my favorite new MCU characters, so I'm very excited to see that happen. Talk about fans want to know who will be in Avengers Kang Dynasty. You can pick out a few faces, but I'm not sure if others like me will be in the movie. I know that Moon Knight has been an Avenger in the comics, but I just can't see him joining these characters yet. I'm also curious if you guys have another new character in the MCU, like one from a Disney Plus show or a recent movie that you just can't see fitting into the latest Avenger movie. Think for sure Betts is like the werewolf and werewolf by night or man thing. Don't expect to see them in Avengers King Dynasty, but someone like White Vision could show up there. Are they going to do something else with them? We don't think Scarlet Witch is dead. She's definitely going to come back, but will it be in Avengers King Dynasty? This is why I'm asking you. Are you happy to hear that Namor is going to be in Avengers King Dynasty? Who are some characters you don't see fitting into the story of that movie? A nice little casting update for the upcoming Thunderbolts movie. I know a lot of people don't want to see this movie because they think it might be a waste of time, but I'm really looking forward to it because I think it has some potential. I'm even more curious to see who this team will be fighting. Well, it looks like we might have just gotten an idea of who the villain of the movie will be because we have Deadline reporting that Thug Life will be playing him. In this article, it says that Stephen Young is going to join Marvel Studios and play a key role. Thunderbolts in a role that is important to this movie and could be important in future Marvel movies as well. The reason I said he could be the villain of the movie is because other articles said he would fight against the Thunderbolts, so that's why I called him a villain. However, it's possible that he won't be the villain of the movie and it will be someone else, but I've always loved Stephen Amell. The Walking Dead because you know what happens to him? Yes, I'm one of those people. Okay, just hate Chris today. No Lord of the Rings. Stop watching Walking Dead. Big L's everywhere. But I'm pretty happy to see him in Thunderbolt. Right now, people have different ideas about who he could be, since nobody knows what role he'll play. Amadeus Cho was ranked as the 7th smartest person in the world. He was a brilliant scientist who became the Hulk in the comics. He's called the totally awesome Hulk because he has a lot more control over his powers than Bruce Banner does. He's a fairly new character in the comics, so even if you don't know his story, the MCU will probably make one up for him like they have for so many other characters. The Hulk formula is similar to the super soldier serum, so if he does end up playing Amadeus, I could see the government hiring the 7th smartest person to try to recreate the Hulk formula. If he succeeds, he becomes the Hulk and the show can go on from there. Again, this is just speculation, but those are the two characters he's been linked to true. His role will be bigger in the MCU. He'll probably be the new Hulk of the MCU, which I wouldn't mind. But somewhere in Thor, Ragnarok, they messed up Bruce Banner's Hawk. He had so much potential to be a cool character, but they just stopped knowing what to do with him. So, I'm cool with another Hulk, but I still want my old Hulk to get some justice. This could be part of a rumor about Spider-Man anywhere in the Spider-Verse. People have said for a long time that they can't wait to see this movie. Fans shouldn't be too surprised that Tom Holland's Spider-Man could make a cameo. We've already heard from the creative team and across the Spider-Verse that when Miles jumps to different universes, the animation style will change to fit that universe. This made fans think, well, if he meets Tom Holland, we're going to have to do something different. Animated movies that look real. We have them here. Jeff Snyder, a reliable journalist in the industry who isn't a scooper but an actual journalist, came out and said that the film was delayed last year so that they could get Tom Holland in it. He said, "I'd heard that part of the delay in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was about getting Tom Holland in that movie, and that one of the dimensions Miles could end up going to is a live-action dimension with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. To me, that makes things, even introduce us to a version of Miles and start building him up in the MCU. If Tom Holland is going to be in a live-action movie, that means Miles Morales will also have to be in a live-action movie. His appearance changes when he jumps into each multiverse, so I wonder who will play him. I know Caleb McLaughlin is a popular choice, and I wouldn't mind him at all. I also like the idea of going from animated to live action. Would it be weird if you were watching an animated movie and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're in real life now? That has happened before there. That could be a cute little cameo. I don't think it will be a big part of the movie. It might only be 10 seconds. Will that have a big effect on who will play Miles in Spider-Man 4, if the rumors are true that the MCU wants to introduce him there? That's where I throw it out to you guys. You hear these rumors about Spider-Man all over the Spider-Verse. Do you like the idea of having a quick live-action scene so we can get a Tom Holland cameo and whatever? And that's it for interesting movie news for this week. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more upcoming weekly news and updates. And don't forget to leave a comment letting us know what you thought of all of the updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.